Screw it. It's my birthday and I'm giving everyone a second gift as well as myself. Doctor Who fans have long relied on Big Finish to keep the show alive in audio form, providing countless stories that expanded on the lore and brought back beloved characters. In the early days, they captured the spirit of classic Doctor Who brilliantly, spinning off from the TV show with fresh, exciting ideas. But like the show itself, Big Finish has put out its fair share of clunkers in recent years. Quantity has taken over quality, and not every release hits the mark. That being said, when they get it right, they really get it right. Welcome to the Snake Pit, where we're full of bile and venom. I'm your host, Snake Damon, and today we're looking at Dust Breeding, an early Big Finish Doctor Who story that not only delivers a gripping tale, but features my favourite master, Geoffrey Beevers, reprising his role as the Decayed Master. This one's a classic, but that doesn't mean I won't find something to criticise. The premise alone is enough to grab your attention. It begins in the 1920s with two doctors discussing painter Edvard Munch, who claims to be haunted by a mysterious voice. After painting the Scream, he seems to have trapped the voice within it. Centuries later, the Doctor and Ace arrive on Duchamp 331, a desolate world where artist Damien Pearson has established an art colony. The Doctor intends to rescue a painting from its gallery, a copy of the Scream, which he believes is more than just a work of art. Meanwhile, a luxury cruise ship approaches the planet, carrying a collection of wealthy elites, a mysterious passenger named Mr. Setter, and a hidden cargo. Things quickly spiral out of control when the Doctor and Ace realize the planet itself is a living weapon, animated by a force known as the Warp Core, an ancient, sentient entity of destruction. The Master, disguised as Mr. Setter, has his own agenda, using the terrifying Krill warriors to manipulate events to his advantage. As the story unfolds, we get body horror, psychic possession, and a showdown between two of Doctor Who's greatest villains. Big Finish nailed the horror elements here. The Warp Core's ability to control and devour people through the dust makes for some genuinely unsettling moments. The reveal that the dust itself is the Warp Core's essence turns an already eerie setting into something even more dangerous. When the Doctor links his mind to the Warp Core through the Scream, it's a chilling sequence that feels more like Lovecraftian horror than traditional Doctor Who. Geoffrey Beevers' Master is easily one of the best aspects of Dust Breeding. Originally the role was intended for Anthony Ainley, but honestly, Beevers fits so much better here. Ainley's Master was always theatrical, chewing the scenery with his disguises and elaborate schemes. But Beevers brings a more chilling, calculated menace to the role. His version of the Master is decayed, desperate, yet still utterly dangerous. His voice alone exudes evil. His plan in this story is classic Master manipulation. Let two unstoppable forces, the Warp Core and the Krills, tear each other apart while he reaps the benefits. The twist that the Warp Core was too much for him, forcing him back into his decayed form, adds an extra layer of depth to his character. It's rare to see the Master fail so spectacularly, and it makes his role in this story all the more compelling. While the Master would go on to appear in many more Big Finish stories, this one stands out as one of the best uses of the character. If you've never heard Beevers in action, Dust Breeding is the perfect starting point. If Big Finish ever gets the go-ahead to animate their stories, Dust Breeding is the one I'd start with. The darker tone, psychological horror, and massive set-piece moments would translate perfectly into animation. Imagine the Warp Core's influence visually distorting the world, the shifting dust forming grotesque shapes, and the final explosion engulfing an entire planet in destruction. The Master's decayed form could be rendered in terrifying detail, and the Krills, who are already a menacing force, could finally get the visual treatment they deserve. The idea of a sentient painting trapping a monstrous entity is already a strong visual concept. It's practically begging for an animated adaptation. With a strong script, eerie atmosphere, and solid voice performances already in place, an animated dust breeding would give new life to one of Big Finish's best early stories. I can't criticize dust breeding too much, it's just that good. The story is layered, the horror elements work beautifully, and the return of the decayed master is handled brilliantly. While some Big Finish stories feel like filler, this one earns its place as a must-listen for any Doctor Who fan. It's dark, unsettling, and full of twists that keep you hooked. If you haven't given Big Finish a try, dust breeding is one of the best entry points, and if they ever animate any of their stories, this one should be at the top of the list. Thanks for dropping by the Snake Pit, where we thrive on untapped potential and lost opportunities. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell, like the video, and leave your opinions in the comments, where naturally I won't read them. Until next time, stay venomous.